Do your button plackets in CLO often end up looking like this? So how do you fix it, and how do you prevent it from happening in the first place? The first thing I'm going to do to fix this is right-click on my plackets and reset 2D arrangement selected. I'm going to go back to my fold arrangement tool and fold back my plackets again. Then I'll go into the property editor and bring the fold angle all the way to 0 and check fold rendering on. Then what you want to do is arrange your plackets with the correct one directly in front of the other. In my case, that's wearer's right over left for women's wear, but basically your buttonhole placket should be in front of your button placket. Move any other patterns over if you're worried about them colliding with the plackets. Then make sure your placket patterns are set to 5 particle distance and have bonding applied, which is like fusible. You can fasten your buttons if they aren't fastened already, and if your buttons are going through 2 layers, you're going to want to grab your Select Move Button tool, marquee over all the buttons and buttonholes, and right-click to set number of sewing layers to 2. In a turn-back placket like this, CLO will automatically know where to put the second set of markings, but if it doesn't, you can move them manually. Then you can strengthen your plackets to be safe and simulate. Now let's talk about what to do if your plackets are topped onto the body. You'll do the same thing, reset 2D arrangement of the plackets, and if they're already sewn to your body, right-click and deactivate pattern and sewing. Now you need to get your center front body overlapping properly like before, which is more challenging if your plackets aren't separate patterns. I'm going to use single pins to do it, which you can add by holding the W key and clicking down on your pattern. These pins will move with the gizmo when simulation is turned on, and they'll sort of pin the pattern in the air. Once your pattern is arranged properly in 3D, right-click on a pin and you can delete them all. Now you can activate your placket patterns. If they aren't already sewn on, the front edges should be sewn together and that sewing needs to be turned. You can sew the top and bottom of the placket to the garment as well, and those also need to be turned. Then the inside edge of the placket should be sewn to a corresponding internal line. Make sure your buttons are fastened, and then you also need to set your sewing layers to 2. However, in this case, CLO isn't as good at knowing where to put the second set of markings. You can match up your placket with your body and move it to the back in 2D in order to lay the markings directly over the buttons and buttonhole markings. Unless you already have these markings on your pattern, which, good for you, that's much easier. CLO didn't give me all the markings it should have, but I made sure every marking it did give me was in the correct place, and I didn't worry about the rest. Then you'll want to right-click on your plackets and superimpose over. If they look a bit funky like this, just superimpose a second time until they look clean. You can strengthen or just simulate. And here, everything actually looks totally fine. My buttons are just nowhere to be found, which is an easy fix. You can select them all and bring them forward with your gizmo. And if you need to, you can right-click, reset 3D position, or flip if they're upside down.